It's nice being here in California. I love being in California, man. It's great because here everybody knows I'm black, which is fucking dope. You know, I live in New York and everybody there thinks I'm some sort of like Puerto Rican lesbian. Every time I get on the train, it's just some fucking lady right away that's like, "Donde está?" I'm like, oh my God, ¿dónde está? Miss, I don't speak Spanish. What? What do you mean you don't speak Spanish? Your face is so Spanish. I'm like, no, miss, actually, I'm black. What? What do you mean you're black? You look so much like my granddaughter. Are you my granddaughter? I immediately get off that train. It's dope being here, man. I grew up here in California. I grew up in South Central where they used to rob a buy. Yeah, that was dope. Thank you, bye. Yeah, I grew up in that neighborhood he was talking about. I grew up in the neighborhood full of the Crips. I grew up in South Central, which is, he's right, this is a weird neighborhood. It's a very strange neighborhood because like for 25 years of my life, I couldn't acknowledge the color red. Not until I moved to New York. You know how fucking weird that is to just be like, nah, that color don't exist. Red is a primary color, bro. Like a motherfucker walks in here right now with a red t-shirt and one of my friends from South Central saw him, he'd be like, yo, Alex, what color shirt is that? And I have to look and be like, man, I don't know. That's a funny shade of blue, though. Yeah, I grew up in a weird neighborhood because, like, you know, I was a kid when the Rodney King riots happened. It wasn't all bad. That's how I got my first Super Nintendo. I'm gonna be honest with you. Every comedian up here started complaining about Trump. I'm like, nigga, I hope he wins again. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if he wins again, I know there's gonna be another riot. And if there's another riot, nigga, I need some new stuff. I'm picking stuff out right now. I don't know about you guys, but I go to the gym to get ready for the next riot. I be in there with my homies, just be like, all right, Andre, bend your knees and lift the TV. Come on, here we go. We gotta burn down the CVS in 15 minutes. Burning down the CVS for black people is like group therapy. So if you don't like that joke, you're racist. I left California, you know, because it was a big drag. A lot of my friends used to blame their problems on race. You know, that was a tough one on my friend. I remember one time me and a friend, we were joyriding around in the car and we got pulled over by the cops. First words out of his mouth, he was like, man, you see this shit? See this? They see two black kids riding around in a nice car and they're saying that we don't belong. I had to look my friend in the eye and be like, man, the only reason we got pulled over is because you stole this car. Now that friend lives in the one place that will never be gentrified. Jail. It's okay. He's doing fine now. He's a conspiracy theorist. I'll get back to that later. I wish I hadn't left California though. I wish I hadn't left because, you know, like doing this shit, I realized if I stayed in California, I would have been like probably the biggest comedian you guys know about now. I'm not even joking. I'm like, I ask myself all the time, like, what level of fame I want. Like, I want benefit of the doubt fame. You guys know what benefit of the doubt fame is? You should know it with all these celebrities getting in trouble. Basically, benefit of the doubt fame means if I ever get caught jacking off in a movie theater, I just want my fans to be like, man, what movie was it though? And I'm from LA, I know what kind of movies they like. They like slave movies and they like gay movies. So I decided that I'm gonna make a movie about the first openly gay slave. And the slave is gonna fall in love with his slave master. And I'm gonna play both parts. The title of my film is gonna be called Uncle Tom's Closet. It's just gonna come out twice in 1 year. Black History Month and whatever Gay History Month is. It's in June? Thank you for shouting that out, miss. Social justice warrior. Mission done. That's my first gay movie. I got another one. You gotta have multiple, because Netflix would be like, oh, this is too much. Next one is a gay thriller. This one is about a gay guy who wants to come out of the closet, but he can't because his mouth has been wired shut by a mad scientist. And the only key to open his gayness has been put inside of a woman's pussy. And he has to go to the mad scientist, and the mad scientist has to shrink him down. He has to go inside of her pussy to find the key to his gayness. And the title of this film is called Our Lips Are Sealed. Crazy thing is, you guys don't even want to know my trans movies. I got a trans Holocaust film that knocked your fucking I don't know. I understand what all the comedians here were talking about. It is a weird time right now. They're talking about, America's going to go to war. We're supposed to have World War III. China has some sort of fucking super Ebola. There's fires in Australia. There's terrorist attacks in Europe. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this is the first time in history that Africa is the safest place to be right now. Let's be honest. I'm ready to go back. I'm going to Trump rallies just to hear somebody say, "Get out of here. Go back to Africa, nigga." I'm like, well, buy me a ticket. I'm ready. Let's go. It's only $1,000 to Egypt. Sorry, I had to yawn. I forgot to check off before I came here. Anybody here have schizophrenia? No? It always gets nothing. The only reason I'm talking about this shit is because I'm back in California. It makes me think of my grandma. My grandmother had schizophrenia, and I'm thinking about my childhood. And I remember when I was a kid, I didn't know what schizophrenia was. So whenever I would see my grandmother speaking to herself, I thought she was getting ready for a rap battle. She'd be walking around like, "I had sex with Howard Hughes, and I shit in my shoes. I had sex with Howard Hughes, and I shit in my shoes." And I was a young black kid in South Central, so I did what any kid would try to do. Tried to make money off that shit. So I started making beats, and then my brother found out. He was like, "Yo, what the fuck? We could be doing this at a much higher level." So we started making mixtapes. And at this point, we had figured out the flow. Her rap name was OG Coochie Kente. But like anybody that has a sickness, eventually me and her started beefing, She stopped taking her medicine. She started staying out sometimes real late, 6, 7 p.m. And I remember she walked in the room, she was smoking a cigarette, and she looked directly at me. She was like, if I had given your mother $200, you wouldn't be here. And I looked back at her and I was like, if you give me $200, I'll leave. And at that point, my grandfather burst in the room. He was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was like, oh, me and grandma are fighting. He's like, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the levels on track 12. Let's go, we got money to make. I got one last joke, and I wanted to try it because this is San Francisco, and I heard you guys are really PC. This next joke's about trans people. I realize this about trans people. People usually only ever get upset whenever it's a man that wants to become a woman. And the reason I know this is because dudes get mad. They don't like when another man rejects masculinity, right? I'll give you an example. Look. I was walking around Times Square in New York. It was like 12:30 at night. I needed a brand new pair of pants. That's my business. Don't worry about why. And I saw this guy that clearly identified as a lady, but it was like his first day. You know what I mean? Like it was his first day of work. He definitely missed orientation. So I was trying to be polite, and I saw her. I was like, "Oh, how you doing, miss?" And she was like, "Oh, how you doing, young man?" But as she passed me, she accidentally bumped into a drunk black guy. And the drunk black guy looked back, and he was like, "Oh, my bad, brother." And she heard that and she flipped out. She was like, "Brother? Brother? Excuse me, sir. You can clearly tell that I identify as a lady, and you will treat me as such, sir." black guy looked back and he was like, "Oh, my bad, bitch." He just kept walking. Hey, you guys hang tough. Thank you.
Yeah, Alex Payne, guys, let him hear